Welcome back to
Chocolate Tomatoes.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Corey.
And we are your hosts for the 411 on Black Christmas movies every holiday season. We are starting to wind down now with our reviews. So we just want to let y'all know we have just one more review remaining after this one. And every season we do a trilogy or a series movies every Christmas. And this Christmas, we decided to review, drumroll please, the Wesleys. So today we are going to be reviewing all three movies, y'all. Uno, dos, tres movies, y'all. All three of them, okay? So sit back, relax, get you something to drink on, and listen to this review, right? All right, so before we get into this review today, let's talk about what we are drinking on. What are we drinking?
We are back with the aptly named, I suppose, Corey Port 2025.
Yes, Corey Port 2025. It's a wine I made out there in Napa. If you have not visited Napa, or even if you have and you have not visited Raymond Vineyard, definitely check them out to make your own wine, y'all. They have make your own wine classes. So check them out. But I will say proceed with caution because you will see some wild things at that particular vineyard. How this is going to work today, because we're reviewing all three movies. First, we are going to review the series of movies as a whole, right? We're going to give you our chocolate rating on the whole entire series. And then we will break down, after we do our preliminary questions for the whole entire series, then we will break down each movie, movie by movie, basically. So we'll go through all three of them individually, but at first we will look at them as a whole. So let's get into it. All right. So tell us about the Wesleys.
The Wesleys, it's a trilogy, so it's three films, and it's about the Wesley family. It's an ensemble cast, and it's three. I want to say each one is a year apart. So the first one, everything goes Christmas this year. The next year it's the next Christmas, and then the third movie is Christmas a year after that. All three movies were directed by Patricia Koofy Jones, and they were written by Bree West, starring Dorian Wilson, Jasmine Guy, T.C. Carson, Lauren Lott, Terrell Hill, Kiki Hayes. Like I said, it's it's an ensemble cast, so there's a lot of people, but those are probably the ones that most of you will know.
Yes, that's our synopsis of the series. So, babe, let's get into this chocolate rating, shall we? All right, so here's how it works, right? We have 4 tiers. So I'm going to pop those up on the screen for you all. We have hot chocolate. That means this is in the rotation every year. This is your last holiday. This is your movie that you watch pretty much every Christmas. It's in the rotation, right? This is called hot chocolate. Next tier down is called sweet chocolate. This is, might have a few hangups, this particular movie, but, you would still recommend it. People would still enjoy it, and you could potentially put it on, for a holiday, season. The next tier down is semi-sweet. So semi-sweet is like a so-so thing. Like, you could watch it for these particular reasons, or you could not watch it for these particular reasons. But either way it goes, it's still recommendable, right? The next tier down that we have is bitter. Bitter means skip it all together. It is garbage. Put it in the garbage. Throw it away, y'all. Do not waste your time watching this movie if we rate it bitter. All right, so that is our chocolate ratings. So now we're going to give you our chocolate rating on the Wesley series of movies as a whole. So how would you rate all three of these movies together?
I have to, as much as I hate to do it, I have to give it a semi-sweet. Mm-hmm. And mostly it's because just how I feel about the second movie and one aspect of the third, law of averages, it brings it down, unfortunately.
Yeah, I will say, I think this is a semi-sweet watch as well. I feel like if I were to recommend this to a couple, or even a girls, for a girls' night, I don't feel like they would be upset at watching this, but there are hang-ups to where I would recommend other Christmas series over this one, and we'll talk about that more so in the juice segment of our video today. All right, so let's get into some preliminary questions about the series itself. How do you feel like the acting was across the board, across all three movies?
I think the acting, for the most part, was really good. With that, like I said, there are a lot of veterans in this franchise, a lot of people that have been in the business for a long time, and you can tell that that's the case. A lot of these characters are impressive. The actors do a good job portraying the characters, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. The acting, to me, is what saved the rating for me. The writing, and we'll get into that in a second, is what tanked the series for me. But the acting, y'all, I will say, comparative to other Christmas movies we've seen, this acting, like Corey was saying, you can tell there's a lot of veteran actors in this, series of movies. So the acting was pretty spot on, especially from the main cast. It's pretty spot on. All right. So with that being said, how do you feel like the writing was in this series?
I feel like really all three movies kind of ran into the same problem. It's just, it's like they had too many ideas and they tried to shove all of the ideas into the movie when it wasn't necessary. So it just kind of got convoluted and it got hard to follow.
Yes. I will say that's what tanked it for me, was the writing. It seemed like they were rushing at the end to resolve all the issues that they created. And it's like Corey was saying, they created so many issues.
So many problems.
It's like, do all of these have to be solved in one movie? Are y'all trying to solve all these because you don't think you'll get another movie? I mean, like, what is really going on? You know what I mean? And it's just like they should have tapered back some of those issues, or they should have left some of them to be solved for the next movie. I mean, because like Corey was saying, these characters I feel like are interesting enough. You want to see them again, in a continuation or another movie.
Yeah.
So, do we feel like these movies had any plot holes?
No, I don't know if I would say plot holes, but there were a lot of, I felt, unfinished scenarios.
Yes.
A lot of times it was because they had so much. By the time at the end of the movie, you just tried to finish it up, and a lot of things you're like, well, that's kind of unsatisfactory the way you wrapped up this particular plot line.
Yeah.
So I guess it all just goes back to they had too much going on for a single movie.
Yes.
And it happened in all. It's that situation, all three of them.
Yes. For me, we'll talk about, I agree with what Corey was saying. One thing that stood out to me in particular was one character whose, I will say, role in the movie was really confusing. And it wasn't until maybe, the third movie to where you kind of figured out what was going on with this one character. And we'll talk about that more in the juice part of our segment today. All right, so we got two more questions, and then we're going to finish up with the preliminary questions for the series as a whole. What did you like about the series?
I like the character. Todd is my favorite character. Honestly, I like Todd, and T.C. Carlson always going to be my boy. I like him in everything he does. But I felt the characters themselves were well developed. So I think that part, across the board, across all three movies, the characters themselves were extremely entertaining to me.
Yes, they were. That's one thing, like I said, the characters, y'all, the actors and the acting is what saved this series, And I feel like I agree with Corey that was one of my favorite parts about this series, y'all, was the acting. So with that being said, what did you not like about the movie?
It was so convoluted. Like each movie, I felt like if they had just did away with one or two issues that they were trying to solve, the movies would have moved a whole lot better.
Yeah.
It just would have had a better flow, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I feel like I didn't like about the movie, without giving too much away, is the writing, y'all. And we'll get into specifics again in the juice part, which is coming up right after this. is the writing, y'all, was terrible for these movies. They really need to go back to the drawing board, maybe take some advice from some other franchises that were successful, and really hone in on the writing, especially if they plan on making a fourth installment of this series, which I could really see them making a fourth installment of the series. So we'll just have to wait and see. So if you have not seen the Wesley family Christmas trilogy, as we'll say, all three movies, log off now. You go to BET Plus. You can download it for free for 7 days. Go to BET Plus. Check out all three movies, y'all. And then come back here. Tell us what you think about the Wesley family Christmas trilogy of movies. And then, of course, watch the Juice part as well and let us know what you think. All right.
Yep. So here's the Juice. Spoilers start now.
Let's get into the first movie, right? Synopsis real quick.
All right. So Todd, Chris, and Sydney Wesley all go to their childhood home in Washington, D.C. to celebrate the Christmas vacation with their parents, Brian and Sylvia, and as well as the entire Wesley family. That's your general premise of the first movie.
Mm-hmm. So what's your chocolate rating for this first movie?
It's sweet. This is a sweet movie, I think. I like it.
It's a sweet watch.
Yeah.
I will say that it's a semi-sweet for me.
Really?
Yes, it's a semi-sweet for me. And the reason why, again, I say semi-sweet is it's the writing. The writing, y'all, tanked this movie for me. The acting is what saved it. And had the writing and the acting, had been on equal playing field, shall I say, then I feel like this could have been a hot chocolate, a hot watch, in my opinion. But it's the writing.
You know what? It could have been a hot chocolate.
And there was so many confusing elements. The first confusing element for me was when they introduced T.C. Carson's character, Marcus. The way they introduced him, it was very confusing. He didn't have any speaking lines, and I'm paying attention to the mailman that I don't really know what's going on.
And we're thinking the mailman is part of the movie.
Yeah, I'm thinking the mailman is a part of the movie, and the mailman has nothing to do with the movie. And it was very confusing the way they introduced him. And then you dive into even more confusing, moments where they are introducing, people or characters in the movie. It's just like they shoehorn the parents' issues into the movie, which I felt like after, how long have they been married? Let's just say they've been married 30 years,
Long enough, all their kids are grown.
Yeah, they've been married long enough to where she shouldn't think that he's cheating on her at this point in the movie.
Or if you are suspecting, you've been together long enough to where you just come out and ask.
You just come out and ask. Or I felt like they could have had another thing that she would have thought of instead of the cheating aspect. Like that just seemed so beyond them,
Yeah, and then Jasmine got snooping around like she trying to solve a Scooby-Doo mystery.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
It was, but the biggest issue is, and like I gave it a sweet because of the actors and how well developed these characters are.
They are well developed.
But
I will say that.
The issue is there's so many. There's only 90 minutes in the movie. You don't have so much time. But the parents got an issue. The sister has an issue. The two brothers had issue with each other, and then the brothers, each brother has their own separate issues.
So that's five.
And then the kids got issues. Yeah, the aunt got issues.
Everybody has issues.
And then the homeless man outside got issues, and now we got to wrap up all of these issues in 90 minutes. It was a lot.
It's too much.
It was way too much.
Yeah,
it was way too much.
I will say, if they could have picked a set of issues to focus on, it should have been Todd and what was the other one?
Todd and Chris.
Yeah, it should have been Todd and Chris that they focused on. Then it should have been Todd and his, wife's issues that they focused on. And then the third thing I felt like they should have focused on was Chris and his wife's issues of trying to carry a baby.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to focus on the aunt, that was kind of a fun aspect, but I don't think they should have solved her issues this movie. I feel like they should have waited till the second movie for her to get together with what's the homeless character?
With Marcus.
With Marcus, yeah.
That, and then the sister, Sydney, like, you can give her, if you want to call it love triangle situation, you can give her that just because it builds character, but that's not something that has to be resolved. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that has to have an ending to it. It can just, she had this going on, you know, but there's other important things happening.
Yeah.
It just gives her character development.
Yeah.
And just by the time the last, 10, 15 minutes of the movie,
they're to
just
spiderweb all this stuff together.
It was a lot happening.
It was really a lot. Another thing, y'all, tell me if y'all could solve this the first movie. Without thinking about the two movies, tell me if you could solve this with just that first movie, right? The aunt. Is she really the aunt?
Gloria. How is Gloria related to the family?
How is Gloria related to the family? Do they say this in the first movie, that she's just a family friend who has just become auntie over time, basically? Because it's very confusing. Because they introduce her, and then they, boom, turn around and introduce Ray Grant's character, which is the brother. So it's really confusing.
And that's another egregious issue with these movies.
Yes.
You have Red Grant. Where is he? And then the little scenes he's in,
funny.
Comedy gold. But it's only, a scene and a half, really, that he's in? And then even less in the next movie.
And then doesn't exist in the
third movie, just you hear his voice.
Phone call.
It just, I was like, this is very disappointing.
Yes. Red Grant's scenes were funny. I will say him messing up those women, you know, and them thinking that they look great being that messed up was funny. And I felt like they should have gave him just a tad bit more screen time because that was funny. But just the issues, y'all, in this first movie, it was just too many. And let us know what y'all think down below in the comments. What y'all think about this first movie and the issues.
And unfortunately, it's a recurring thing throughout. So
yeah. All right, so I think that kind of sums up the first movie. Do you have anything else?
So. Ladies, just do not wait 15 weeks to tell your husband that you're pregnant.
Yes, let's bring that up.
That was ridiculous.
That was crazy. She's in her second trimester telling her husband that she's pregnant.
Public announcement. He found out when everybody else
find out, which is crazy. I can understand, the rest of the family finding out 15 weeks. But the husband, the gender of the baby. That's how long she waited. You know how many doctor's appointments you have to go to between the time you find out you're pregnant till the time you find out the gender?
Sneaking off to the doctor. Yeah. Husband don't know anything.
Husband don't know a thing. I think I would take issue with that if I was her husband, waiting that long to tell me that you are expecting our kid,
Yes.
Audience, how do you feel about that? Let us know down below in the comments. When is an acceptable time for a wife to tell her husband that she is pregnant with their kid? All right. Did you have anything else for the first movie?
I'm trying to think. I think we pretty much squeezed that first movie pretty good, I think.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. Why did Aunt Glo, why did they feel like they had to mush her together super fast with Brian? Marcus. Why? It's so many characters. Felt like they should have let that develop into the second movie before they put them together.
Yeah, it didn't have to be right then. Him telling his story, with his PTSD, the military, and
knowing her,
and then her revealing that to him, how that story is connected, is enough for that movie. And then the second movie, you see how they have progressed with that knowledge of each other. I thought you could have done that; it would have been just fine. You didn't have to
put them together the first movie.
Yeah.
I do feel like the way they connected the two of them, though, through her deceased husband, I really liked their story. I liked, I liked Marcus. I liked Marcus's story. He had a great story. And then the fact that they merged his story with Aunt Glow's story through her deceased husband was great. You know, that was great writing. But why did you have to put them together the first movie? Give us a little bit of suspense and something to look forward to in the second movie, with having them date a little bit more in the second movie. And then finally, by the end of the second movie, he's proposing. You know what I'm saying? Him proposing. Did he propose at the end of this movie, or was it the next movie?
It was the next movie.
Oh, okay.
But they were an item. They were a couple.
Yeah, they were a couple by the end of this movie. And I just felt like they really rushed that. They should have taken their time with the two of them. I mean, they rushed all the relationships, in my opinion. They didn't take their time with not one relationship. Like, 1 minute they're meeting, then they meet, up and have a few interactions, and then boom, they're together, you know? Yeah. And it's just like, I felt like they should have dragged out a few of these relationships on into the next movie, in my opinion. Like the sister. I feel like they should have dragged her relationship out a little bit more into the, second movie. And even the third movie. But, I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute, because I have some grievances with that third movie and the sister.
I got grievances with the second movie.
I got grievances with the second movie, too. All right, so I think we pretty much wrapped up and squeezed all the juice out of the first one.
All right, so now we move on to a Wesley Christmas wedding. Mm-hmm. Now, they hit you with the okie doke with this because Sylvia and Brian, her Christmas gift was them renewing their vows. Mm-hmm. So you see this, you think, okay, so the second movie is about them renewing their vows.
Yeah, renewing their vows. Mm-hmm.
But it's actually Todd and Ryan are getting married this following Christmas. So this movie focuses on them trying to get their nuptials together, and her momzilla.
Yeah.
That goes on, that accompanies this.
Now, I loved Momzilla. Who was Momzilla played by? So yeah, Valerie Pettiford plays Ryan's mom.
From
Diana.
Half and Half, right?
Yeah, from Half and Half. I love her. She is so funny. Her name in the movie is Diana, right?
Mm-hmm. Diana Johnson Benton.
Yeah, Deanna or Diana. I don't know how she says it in the movie. But you got to say all three names together, or you got to say the last two names together if you're going to refer to her. Yeah, that lady her last name.
She was a lot.
Yes, she was. I will say the acting again is what made this movie bearable, right? So let's get into our chocolate rating for a Wesley Christmas wedding.
It's a bitter.
Yes.
It's a bitter. This is really what brought my overall rating down.
Yes.
This movie.
Me too. This one, y'all, skip this one altogether. This movie is terrible.
Yeah, you don't really have to watch this one.
Even the acting, I felt like kind of suffered in this movie.
Yeah, because the writing was that hard.
It
for
was
them
very
to pull
choppy.
anything out of it.
Yeah, it was almost like they did a bunch of rewrites, and then right before they got done, right before they started shooting, they handed them the script and expected them to do these changes. And you can tell at certain points that the actors are just not that comfortable in their roles.
Yeah.
Even the high school sweetheart that came out of the blast from the past, even the blast from the past, for Sylvia that came out of the woodworks. I mean, even that storyline, it's just like, why?
Because it was so, once again, way too many issues to be resolved in 90 minutes.
Yes.
It's just way too much going on. At this point, you would think they just renewed their vows.
Yeah.
The parents, just let them chill. Let them chill.
Exactly.
Movie.
Let them not have any issues this movie.
Let them be the ones giving out the sage advice for everybody else.
I don't understand it.
They had their own issues they got to deal with.
Even the twins, the one twins drama with picking out the wrong boyfriend, I didn't care because this character, I know he's not going to be around, so why am I going to invest, time into this character?
No, you can't even, the other twin dropping out of school.
That was a better story.
Yeah, but I can't care about that because you give me all this other stuff to be concerned about.
Yeah, to me, both twins didn't need to have an issue. One twin could have just had an issue, and the one dropping out of school, for her reasonings, was way more interested than the one who had man trouble. I mean, you know he's not going to be around. He wasn't in the first movie. The way he's acting in the second movie, you know, probably the next scene or two, he's going to be out of the movie. So it's like you don't care about that issue.
And as a dad, I feel like Chris let that little boy slide with way too much. That little boy would have been out of my house.
It was kind of unrealistic.
In my opinion, it was.
It was really exaggerated, and to the point where it was unbelievable. And to me, if you're going to do something like that, they should have probably did a little bit more subtly than what they did. Yeah. Another issue I had with this movie is I feel like Ryan gave her mom too many chances, and I felt like in a realistic setting, she would have blown up on her mom at some point. Yeah. I was actually waiting on that to happen, and when it didn't happen, it's kind of a letdown. Was that a letdown for you? Yeah. It was a letdown.
And then even that, it was just like Diana was doing a lot.
Yeah.
For her not to have any kind of blowback.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, we got a meeting, a wedding planning meeting. She don't feel she need to be there, so she's going to get her face done. She got the spa.
Yeah.
We got dress rehearsal. She don't feel she need to be there, so she's in New York getting fitted for a dress the day before the wedding.
Yeah.
She left DC, went to New York, and it's just, I don't know. And but then nothing comes of that. They don't really, I don't know.
You know what's crazy? Her and Sylvia blow up at each other, and while I appreciated it, it was not the blow up I was looking for. I was looking for the blow up between her and Ryan, you know? And I kind of felt like the one between her and Sylvia was kind of unnecessary in a way, because you're looking for Ryan to step in. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a letdown. I'm not saying that I didn't appreciate the blow up, because there had to be some kind of drama there. But I would have rather saw it from Ryan than some of the other characters. Yeah. Another element that I wanted to address in this movie that I did like was the postpartum issues in this movie. That was a pretty good storyline for Chris's story arc with his wife. I will say I did like that aspect that they wrote in about it. But again, too many issues. You got Chris's issue, and then you have his two daughters, each have their own issues. I mean, that is a lot for a movie. You know what I'm saying? Just those three issues alone could make one single movie off on its own.
What do you think about Sydney's storyline?
Sydney's storyline, okay, I'm going to say this. Sydney's storyline hints as to why she's not in the third movie, right? Because it's like they were grasping at straws trying to find an issue with her, or to have an issue or a problem with her. And it's just like the problem she did have. Has she been dating this guy long enough for her to care?
It's probably a little under a year. They met last Christmas.
I know, but still, has she been dating him long enough for her to, I mean, the fact that she was even considering it, it's just like, okay, has she really been dating him this long enough to care? I mean, they don't live together. You know what I mean? It's just like they really hadn't made any strides. They were still kind of in the friend zone, it seemed like. She wasn't really that comfortable with him.
It was another issue that wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary.
It wasn't necessary.
Just adding on to things you got to figure out how to wrap up by the end of the movie.
And the thing I didn't like either, this kind of delves into the third movie a little bit, but with Sydney, at the end of the second movie, or even the third movie, they should have said she chose to go on tour or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said at the end of the movie he was okay with her going on tour, but they never said if she went on tour or not. And
she just kind of blew up at that producer over the phone.
Yeah. And then she disappeared, y'all, in the third movie, which is what we're going to get to. And that's another one of my grievances. But you make us essentially like Sydney at this point because of what she's been through in the first movie and what she's going through in the second movie. And then poof, she's gone in the third movie.
And she's a good character.
Yeah, and she's a good character, a good actress. She seems to be a decent singer. I don't know if that's her or if it's a, layover of whoever's singing. But, she gives a little bit of
Speaking of singing, again, give Red Grant more to do.
Yes, him singing. Was it the second one?
That
yes.
was the second one, yeah.
Yeah, he was singing, and I mean, you could tell that was not in the script.
Yeah, you
based
could
off
tell
the way
he just
everybody was
kind of
looking.
did it just because the camera was rolling. I don't think anybody expected him to start doing that.
Absolutely not. And you could tell by the way he entered the singing that he was shocked, by that. So that was pretty interesting. Or the rest of the cast was shocked, by his actions. So that was pretty funny. Did you have anything else for a Wesley Christmas wedding?
No.
Let's get into a Wesley South African Christmas. Yeah. All right, so what's our chocolate rating for a Wesley South African Christmas?
This one I gave it a sweet for a couple different reasons. Mm-hmm. Mostly, I like the African aesthetic of the movie.
Yes.
I like they took the time and really showed you like ceremonies in the Zulu nation. They different aspects of Africa they actually showed you. It wasn't just, all right, this movie is in South Africa and we're gonna show you some beaches. They actually went into the culture of it, and I like that.
Me too. I love that about this movie, and I honestly, this movie for me, this was a sweet to possibly even a hot chocolate watch for me. The acting in this movie was phenomenal, even by the additional characters that they added to the movie. The African characters, in my opinion, I want to see a spinoff of that to learn more about that family.
I would not mind seeing a spinoff to that movie. To them.
I mean, it was just a great movie.
Like a prequel spinoff.
Yeah, like a prequel spinoff. This was a great movie. And like Corey was saying, you get the African aspect. You don't just get a few beaches and a couple of shots, of the city or whatever, in Africa. You get, the whole experience. They even show you, one of the tribes, and you even go into one of the orphanages, there, and they get into songs and different things. And even at one point in the movie, they even, get the headdress and things as well, the clothing. So that was really great about this movie. And again, like I was saying, the acting was really phenomenal. The writing got a little bit better in this movie than the first two, but they still had a few hang-ups as to why I would rate this an overall sweet chocolate movie.
Yeah, it wasn't as convoluted as the other two. And
the issues that they finally gave the parents were realistic. The doctor's office is calling to tell him that, his test, they're having problems with his test and they needed to get a second opinion. These are the kind of problems we want to see from the parents and how they painted, the Wesley parents to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are the kind of issues we want to see from them. I even love the adoption issue with Aunt Glo. With
Gloria Marcus.
Yeah, with Gloria Marcus. I felt like they probably could have gave us a little extra piece of her not wanting to adopt or having no interest. I wish they would have given us a little bit more of that instead of just, was it Sylvia? Yeah. Yeah. Instead of Sylvia telling us that she's not ready for a family, I wish that we could have heard that from, Glo, or kind of seen some actions of that. But it wasn't entirely a reason why I gave it a sweet rating, put it that way.
This one was, I thought it was very well done, because your main issue is Todd trying to get this business deal done with the Diamini family, and they even show why members of the Diamini family are not so apt to just jump into this business deal with these Americans. So that being your main story, and then
it was great.
And then you have your side stories are the adoption and this medical issue. I thought it was nicely balanced.
It was. Yeah, that was a nicely balanced movie. I will tell you the one thing, y'all, I don't like. What's the sister's name again?
Sydney.
I will tell you one thing I don't like. Sydney was not in this movie, and neither was Chris. Chris didn't necessarily have to be in the movie, but don't keep teasing us like he's going to show up on the screen and he don't show up, right? But a big thing is Sydney not being in this movie and them shoehorning two characters in the forefront that we don't care about. Yeah. Like, she's the cousin of the family, But I feel like the cousin should have been present for the wedding, and they kind of introduced her into the second movie. That way it's not such a cold transition. Like, they really gave us a super cold transition, which I did not like.
It would have been nice if you had seen this person prior to how she just popped up in the movie.
Yeah.
It's like she just happened to be in Africa, so here's a cousin.
Yeah.
Like, it was...
Yeah, I didn't like the way they did that.
Yeah, it was a little jarring.
And then you think that she's going to be on screen here and there, kind of like a Red Grant type situation. But I mean, she even had her own story arc with issues and things. Yeah, and it's just like, why are you giving me this character who I don't care about? I mean, the actress is a great actress, but just the character I don't care about, because you've introduced her in this third movie when you could have brought her in the first movie or even the second movie.
And her storyline didn't really amount to a whole lot.
No. And that was another thing. They didn't really complete her storyline.
Yeah, as well as good of an actress as she was, the storyline didn't really serve a purpose to the movie. No. And then it was like they were trying to replace Sydney because she's singing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. She's, delving into the conversations, kind of where Sydney would, give her 2 cents into a lot of the conversation. So it's just like, y'all are essentially replacing Sydney. And if you're a fan of this movie, you don't like that. Yeah, if you're a fan of the franchise, you don't want to see Sydney getting replaced. You don't want to see characters in general, I feel like, being replaced, Because they're good characters. Yeah. And you wrote these stories as such that we care about these characters, especially if they've been in all, movies leading up to this point and have had a big role. And Sydney, for the most part, was a main character and had a big role after her brothers. Like, her storyline was bigger than even on Glow's in the previous 2 movies. So it's just like, how are you going to, take a character like that and then just make her non-existent and replace her essentially? So I'll tell you the thing I really liked about this movie is that now that you have 2 movies already made and people know these characters, you really focus on the fact that these people take family very seriously. Yes, I do like that. And that was a big thing about why the African family, they weren't sure if they wanted to deal with these Americans. But you take the time to show that these Americans really care about family. Mm-hmm. And that, I thought that was well done because you were able to build on it because of everything that you did before. Yes. Yeah, I did like that about it. The Diamini family, I mean, everybody could act, I really loved that family, and I really want to learn more about them and how they came to be, what they are today and everything. Even the son, I can't think of his name. The black sheep of the family. Yeah. Laredo, I think his name was. Yeah, Laredo. Even the black sheep of the family, his, storyline was even great with his dynamic, with the family as well. So this one, I will say, out of the 3, in my opinion, was written the best. You didn't really have a whole lot of questions, and it wasn't, the problems or the issues wasn't so convoluted. It's almost like maybe they got some advice from someone. Yeah, I was about to say, it's almost like they figured out the formula, third time's the charm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this movie was so good to where I want to see, like I said, a spinoff of the Diamini family, or even they can do, a 4th installment to see where the Wesleys go, from here, now that they are still, a pretty rich family, because, Todd and Chris, founded that app. The one thing, again, here that kind of circled back from the first movie that I liked as well was the fact of conceiving, having problems conceiving, and the fact that, Chris's wife, kind of found a place with the Diamini family because, I can't think of her name. What's the wife? I can't remember. It was Thembe's wife. I can't remember her name. No. Yeah, Thembe and his wife, their issues of conceiving, the fact that they brought all that home was pretty interesting on the writing's part as well. Like I said, the writing in the third movie was so much better really than the previous 2. But that's one of the things that I liked, is that they, brought that home. Why does it seem like
these days, people are having so many issues, conceiving. Was it like that back in the day? Because I feel like our grandparents had, 5 or 6 kids was like the norm or more. And now people are having trouble even conceiving 1 or 2 kids.
Yeah, I know, but it's scary.
It is very scary. And it's just like, it seems like the problem is getting more, is getting worse because you're starting to see this spill over into like movies. Now it's like starting to become a main thing. Remember how it was kind of in the background?
Yeah, it's so prevalent now that it's in the forefront of movies now.
Yeah. So yeah, it is a scary thing that's happening. But audience, we want to know from you guys. Sound off below. We do have a question for you all. Why do you think that conceiving children is becoming more of a hot topic now in movies? Like before, it used to kind of be like a background, theme. Now they're bringing that to the forefront of these movies. So why do you think people are having such problems or such issues now, conceiving children? Let us know down in the comments below. All right, so do we have anything else for the third movie?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else for the third movie. But if you guys want us to circle back around to anything or address anything from this movie in a future review, let us know if we've missed anything down below in the comments. Again, if you're watching this far into our review, we just want to say thank you. And we appreciate you tuning in with us this season for Chocolate Tomatoes. We have just one more review, y'all, left for the holiday season. And then we will see y'all for the 2026 holiday season. We kind of got things more fleshed out now as far as where we want Chocolate Tomatoes to go. So from now on, every holiday season, we will begin November 1st. And we will be ending on January 1st. So we are going to go for 2 straight months, giving you guys the 411 on holiday movies to watch. So we hope you all have enjoyed our movies this holiday season. Hey y'all, so we have just one more movie, y'all. Just one more before we're out of here this holiday season. And our last movie of the year is Mistletoe and Matrimony. All right, so stay tuned because that will be our next review. And we will be airing this January 1st for you all. So this is our last movie. But in the meantime, y'all, if you have any questions about any movies or if you have any suggestions about any movies that we should watch, you can email us at chocolatetomatoesfilm@gmail.com. All right, y'all. So we will see y'all in the next review. Peace.